Welcome back to another week of Winter 2025 tier list where I rate the most recent episode, with Sunday being the cutoff, and just base it on how I felt about it. We got these different categories, and first up, well, ReZero is not airing just yet. It's coming back though. ReZero is coming back very soon along with Danmachi. I'm very excited for these two shows to come back. Now, welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. I know that we're not caught up, but we've watched 2 episodes of it. I'll just give my based impressions of this anime so far. It's very fun. It's very wholesome. I put it in great. Both episode 1 and 2. I wouldn't say it's necessarily peak. It doesn't need to be peak, but they're very consistent. It's very fun. Just a simple story of a guy that, just has an elf waifu and wants to show her around, There's a little bit of a complexity in, I guess, the isekai mechanics of how he sleeps and is spawning into the other world, and, the elf was like, there must be a reason why they're doing this. My theory is that maybe whoever is responsible for this, isekai passage through, I don't know, the dreams, and the fact that we can bring back foods and drinks, is that the person wants the isekai world to have foods, like modern foods, to bring Japanese cuisine back to, isekai world, because there's nothing to fucking eat there, is just my guess. But this anime overall, it's been a very nice watch. I enjoyed it, and we'll be caught up with it pretty soon. Next up, Medaka. Medaka most recent episode, it was fun. The humor is honestly the random side characters just saying random shit like Mona, I'm really hot, and I'm like, what? Who asked, bro? It was just out of fucking left field. It was good, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to drop it. There's another show that we've dropped this season. It's just the performance of this show is extremely poor. On Mondays, we have a lot of low-performing shows, including Arifureta, Mastering Magic, and Headhunted, and I just can't keep, these poor-performing shows around. So, gotta get rid of it, man. Gotta get rid of it. Even if, these recent episodes moving forward are going to be good, if the interest was never there, then it's just kind of GG. That's kind of how it works in the YouTube reaction space. So, salute, Kawaii Mona. You served your purpose in the first episode by just flashing your ass and titties, and that video almost got 10k views. Thanks for that, I guess. Next up, Mail Order Isekai. Dude, this shit is so fucking mid in terms of the production value. Oh my god, it might be one of the most ass-like animation quality right now, right? It's still kind of like, these two, right? Like, you know how it is with these fantasy isekai shows, that's, a dime a dozen. But the story is so entertaining that I'm gonna push it up to good, right? The story is actually very entertaining, and we had like a pop-off episode, right? Of showing up to the raiders, bandits, and saving the girls, and bro wanted to fuck, the daughter of the merchant guy in front of everybody. He's like, damn, I'm popping a stiffy right now in front of everybody. But again, it could have been great. It could have been great if the production value was there. But man, like, this anime kind of gives me Newgate vibes in terms of how everything is so sloppy, and the face, just the designs, the art, everything is just it's really bad. You know what? I kind of want to seal this. Mail Order Isekai. Hold up. Mail Order Isekai. What's the website? AniList. Who works on this, man? Let's watch. Let's check it out. Oh, this is the manga. I'm looking for the anime. Excuse me. So here's the staff. The staff names don't really mean much to me. I mean, I guess we could click on the director. Not many titles that I have really recognized. Does any of this? I mean, there's Monster Musume for the key animation. Is Monster Musume good? I don't know. There's Recreators storyboard for episode 6. Not really titles that I can really recognize and say, wow, these are standouts. Let's look at, this is the original story, this character design, the director, the staff, the studio working on this. What is it? East Fish Studio. And yeah, I mean, what do you expect from a studio like this, right? The studio itself doesn't really have any, like, this shit just got canceled straight up. There's not really any notable shows, and the director too just doesn't really have, I don't know, just just doesn't really have much, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised about this, huh? Unfortunate. But the story though, it's I do enjoy the story. Next up, let's talk about Arifureta. Arifureta most recent episode. Sorry, I have the hiccups right now. Arifureta most recent episode. I put it at good. Probably. What was it? It was handling Shizuku stuff. Shizuku confessed, therefore I'm gonna put it on great. Shizuku confessed, so I put it on great, and Tio also has some great moments as well. Next episode that we're watching tonight actually is probably gonna deal with some UA stuff, right, and the labyrinth stuff. So it's I mean, the story alone is enough for me to put it on great. The overall fight scenes is pretty mediocre, right? But I'm just kind of there for the Shizuku fan service, and it's good to see her just like accepting her feelings and being like, Hajime, I want you. Next up, let's talk about Mastering Magic. Mid, good. I don't know. Honestly, let's be honest with this. Let's put this here. I think this is a better representation. Yeah, I think it's better. I gotta be. Everything I put in good is pretty much mid. I need to be more. I need to be more like harsh with these ratings, man. It was pretty mid. Like, what the fuck really happened? We met Delta from Eminence in Shadow. The princess is just glazing us, and we got some like geopolitics, like what's it called? Political turmoil happening, right? With different regions trying to fuck with us because we got new land. We're making like armor suits out of like these dragon statues and shit, and he's basically just getting more new powers, and that's pretty much it. It's just fast-paced, just power fantasy, and him just kind of like creating this kingdom. Nothing really much to say. It's just, yeah, this just mid, to be honest. Next up, Guild Receptionist. Guild Receptionist, should it be peak or not? Now, what's interesting about Guild Receptionist is the fact that it is doing... So, people didn't really give a fuck about it. Like, here's the episodes of interest. And you can, and of course, the first episode's always gonna do well, right? First episode's always gonna get more views than anything else. And, it starts to taper off. But, man, the most recent episode, and it's not as if it's doing bad by any means. In fact, they're all doing well, right? Like, these videos they're doing well. But it's interesting how the hype episode is the one that people don't really give a fuck about. I guess that people really cared more about this show for the slice of life and the cute fan service rather than the battle scenes of, like Arena going like Super Saiyan mode. And unfortunate that we're still kind of like shadow banned because, the distribution of viewership should not be like this. The distribution of the viewership should be not like this at all. It should be like this. But anyways, that's just performance review stuff. I don't know. It's just many people didn't give a fuck about the most recent episode. To me, seeing Arena go Super Saiyan and bonk shit and to have a happy ending and save everybody was nice. So I'm gonna put it in peak. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm gonna put it in peak. But it's also very interesting how a lot of people just don't give a fuck about it. Yes, we're still shadow bans. I am still nerfed. Still nerfed. It is what it is. Next up. This show. A-Rank Party, I would say is probably good or great. Most recent episode just kind of like fought this shadow creature thing. I didn't really care too much about the fight. I cared more about Rain, pouting and saying, look at my new bow. Have you noticed my bow? I'm pouting. I'm pouting. The slice of life moments were hitting for me. The fight scenes wasn't too interesting to me. Even though I guess it was the closest fight that we actually had because Yuke like passed out and all the girls had to like, stand on business and buy time. But it was good. It was good. Next up, we got... Let's see. Apothecary Diaries. Most recent episode. Apothecary Diaries is always just like a nice, great show, right? It's just still building, right? We're getting closer to the envoy stuff. They're just basically they just want some tall bitches, man. The envoys just want some tall bitches. And Baba was the Moon Fairy. We finally got the Baba identity reveal, which was pretty cool. Gao Xun also had a little bit of a trick for us. You know, you utilize the mirrors, and obviously the story is just kind of fake to see, you know, what's the envoys going to be doing. Mama, can you figure out a way for us to kind of like, you know, keep them fucking at bay? But it's still cooking. It's cooking, and Lulan, there's like 3 characters now. There is 3 Lulan lookalikes, and I am still going to triple down and say that Shisui is still Lulan. And the 2 characters that is basically meeting the Emperor, their body doubles. Yo, I don't care. I'm gonna die on this fucking hill. Next up, we got Headhunted to Another World. Headhunted was, I would say, it was pretty good. I actually enjoyed a lot of... I might have enjoyed it this... Well, it was really cool because I care a lot about, like, business. I care about marketing. Stuff like this is very fascinating to me because that's kind of like what I do for a living, to understand, you know, brands and, you know, business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. And basically the whole episode was, how do we rebrand a dying business and revitalize it? Well, we got to understand who the target audience is. It's a bunch of stupid kids, Gen Z kids. How do we get them to like it? Sell them a fake story and make it colorful, and everyone's like, woo, nice. Basically, just make a TikTok. Utilize social media, make a TikTok, sell a fucking fantasy story lore that resonates with the kids and the audience and make them buy shit. Yep, that's pretty much it. The Demon Lord's true powers are capitalism, bro. This Demon Lord, bro, the Mao, like, his kingdom is just hard carried by capitalism right now, and it was a cool little, you know, story to kind of like handle that. It was nice. Also the wedding dress, that went fucking crazy. Old man dress, wedding dress, what the hell? Next up, we got Red Ranger Isekai. Red Ranger Isekai. Now, Red Ranger, most recent episode, I think it goes on great. Probably top of great. I liked Logi and Kizuna Red's collaboration, even though they don't hate each other. Logi hates him. We got a backstory with him there, right? I kind of appreciate, or I find it a little frustrating that he's such an asshole, but also if he folded and said, all right, we can be friends, it'd be kind of lame. So when he was so selfish at the end and literally tripled down and said, I still hate you, but cover my back, it was pretty funny. It was. We also had, like, you know, some... What happened? We had some hot springs, you know, bath scenes, little fan service here and there. But for the most part, it was just like a solid episode. It was like a solid episode. Next up, Jesus, these hiccups are fucking killing me. Next up, Sakamoto Days. I put it in peak. Easy peak for me. Usually the comedy doesn't hit in anime, but like the hard-boiled jokes were fucking killing me. Every time he would yell and the girl would be like, what? And she'd be like, he'd say something like, look out for yourself. Like, stuff like that. It's just so silly. But it's a very abusable, spammable comedy gag line that just kept making me laugh. What else is there? Sakamoto just fighting. The bubblegum explosion animation actually went pretty crazy too. The way that it's ricocheting across the walls and stuff like that and going boom was pretty cool. Sakamoto also, you know, is gonna get serious, right? He's just basically taking all the hits, and also there's the funny backstory of how nobody even knew the guy, and it was just like a one-sided friendship, and the hard-boiled guy, hard-boiled, was so fucking mad that Sakamoto was so popular with the ladies and Valentines, and that's why he's like holding a grudge. Kind of silly. Lou also is Drunken Fist. Shin kind of benched right now, but Sakamoto, I think next episode also will be even more peak because he returned back to his original size. I don't know how the hell that's happening. Did the explosions get rid of it? I don't know, but he's back to prime form, so next episode's gonna be crazy. Next up, Himari Akane episode. I would put this good. It was kind of frustrating with the girl. Like I don't know. It's a lot of people are conflicted about this. I personally enjoy Himari more than Akane. Akane is just a fucking annoying bitch, and that's what a tsundere is. So it makes sense. But like Himari, I kind of. It's more fun that she's not giving up. And because she's not giving up for the future, I think this means that we're going to have even more competition and jealousy and rivalry between the two girls as they fight for, you know, the main characters. It's crazy that I don't even know the main character's name still. That's insane. Shisei, though. Shisei had some crazy scenes. Shisei felt like an actual god. Shisei is the cameraman. She just pops up whenever she wants to and just like pierces through people's like souls the way that she talks. Shisei is still definitely hard carrying the show for me. That's pretty much it. It's just two friends duking it out for the guy. Next up, The Great Appraiser. I put this in good too. I put this in good. What did I put this in good. It was fun. It was fun. I guess. I got the lolly. It's just basically going to a dungeon and the lolly is just being a brat and we're just overcoming that. You got to see the interesting thing about the episode was how they're handling Zoid, the asshole guy who betrayed us, and I thought we just dunk on him and move on, but no, we're still having him around. And they're building him up for something big. Like, he's not just some character we just dunk on and move on. It's as if he's having self-reflection now, and maybe there's gonna be huge character development. So the episode itself was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. Should it belong on mid? Let me think. Does it? It could. Definitely could. I mean, the fight scenes I don't really care. I care more about the character interactions, and we didn't have much of the character interactions. I think that maybe even this should be belonging down here. These were actually pretty good. I did enjoy these. These were just kind of existing and just okay. Something like that. Maybe I bring this up because of Shisei. Maybe I'll bring this up just because of Shisei, and I enjoy her a lot. And Himari, that was kind of nice. This was just it's just kind of hanging out. It's just kind of hanging out. I think I'll put it like this for now. Next up, we got the 100 Girlfriends most recent episode. Maybe peak. Maybe peak. Top of great. I'm gonna give it peak. I like Maidome. Maidome is such a, I don't know. She's just so wholesome, and she just wants to serve. And and she has her eyes closed all the time, and she's like wagging her tail, and she's got the dog ears out. And then we had like a wet t-shirt, you know, water gun fight. One of those episodes where we get a new girlfriend and we just spend a lot of time, you know, hanging out with her. And then there was like a ridiculousness of like, all right, you're being too useful, so you know, Maidome, you can't sit here anymore. You gotta go away now. No, you can't just drive home anymore. And then Rentaro was being so fucking, you know, unfair, but for a good reason, to make Maidome like appreciate her own value, as you get to realize like her backstory and how she's found, and she has no sense of like self-worth. But it was a nice, delicate, wholesome episode with Maidome, and then just like fan service with wet water t-shirt and stuff, and Hahari's like sound effects, bro. Hahari's like basically like her background noises are kind of crazy. I put it in peak. I put it in peak. Next up, The Great Alchemist. Probably mid. Enjoyable mid though. Enjoyable mid. It was like very slow episode of just going to a different place with dwarves and extracting minerals and coming back home and making it. Standout scene probably is Sophia getting jealous and thinking that, you know, the dude is like walking along with someone else and just like, are you under attack, and just overreacting. And then there was the adventurer guy who Maple hates that, you know, was trying to rizz up Maple. Maple was like, ew, go away. It was enjoyable. It's just a very chill episode. Very slow burn. Just chill. That's pretty much it. And finally, we got some heavy hitters. Villainous Oji-san, probably peak. Probably peak. It's back to the ridiculous plot, right? Of he's in a video game, and now we're getting like the family interaction. The daughter and the mom have realized that, oh shit, dad is in the TV screen and I can't turn it off, but we can like play the game alongside with it. And like the familiar summoning, right? It's basically, I love moments like that. It's kind of like a power fantasy moment where you have an entire audiences and you're looking at like other people getting measured, you know, about their powers and like what kind of familiars are they gonna get? Is it gonna be a rare pull and stuff? And bro just like summoned 2 separate things, which are basically, you know, again, my interpretation of that scene is because there's 2 souls in, you know, Grace, right? You have the old man and the villainous. They both come out, and I think that the villainous soul represents fire, the old man represents water, and that's why if you combine them together, you have a dragon that has multi-elements, right? Fire and water. And everyone was glazing the soundtrack, but the yodeling was what the fuck was that, bro? The yodeling soundtrack came out of fucking nowhere, but it was very, very enjoyable, and it felt like, you know, rather than doing random slice of life episodic stuff, we're getting back to track on the actual plot of him trying to clear the game to get out of here. But it was nice. And of course, you know where solo leveling is gonna go. It's always gonna go to the fucking top, man. Solo leveling is just such an enjoyable, fun show that even a setup episode like this just creates so much hype, bro. It's just unreal. Like Kiwoon's party, the way that they portrayed that A rank party was really cool. Jinmu was not the star of the show. He's a bad boy. He's chilling in the behind the scenes, and they're letting the strike team, you know, get all the highlights. The high orcs too. They were very intimidating. They didn't feel like random fucking mob monsters that we could have just defeated easily. There was a lot of intimidation there, and the, you know, the animation went fucking crazy. Every one of them. Kiwoon had one of the coolest scenes too. That's very reminiscent of, you know, SAO, right? The SOS, you know, the sword slash across the whole body of the orcs, and then boom, the boss dungeon, right? We entered the boss lair, and Hiroyuki Sawano's soundtrack, the camera angle that just focuses on like the sheer depth and scale of the room, and really highlights like how fucked we are and how hype it's gonna be next episode. Soul leveling, this shit's gonna be insane next episode, bro. It's gonna be unreal levels of hype, and I think this is pretty much my most recent take on winter 2025. I need to be more harsh. Mid doesn't mean bad. Mid just means like, you know, middle of the pack, mediocre, right? And all these shows, they're enjoyable mids. They are enjoyable mids, but I think that these shows were just a little bit, you know, higher in quality of, I guess, like, I don't know, production value in terms of story and just personally what I enjoy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And remember, these shows being dropped doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a reflection of the YouTube algorithm. And what is the YouTube algorithm? It's you. You choose to click on the videos. You choose to watch it. And when you stop watching it, doesn't mean that the anime is bad. It just means that my current audience don't want it. It is what it is. See you next time.